thank you very much for joining us for our live event today. We're going to take a look at some of the key ways you can improve team collaboration and what is a kind of changed business environment for all of us at the moment due to the current health situation. And the focus is also using Microsoft Teams to do that. Today's event is going to be roughly 35 to 45 minutes. It will be recorded. So after the event, if anyone wasn't able to make it, we will be sending a link to the recording to all attendees and everyone who registered as well. But just to introduce myself, my name's Stuart Ambler. I'm the Business Development Manager for Managed IT Experts. I've been here for 3 years and I head up looking after all the current accounts as well as bringing on new clients as well. In terms of the format for the event today, we will also be doing a Q&A throughout. So you will see the Q&A function is open and you are able to post questions on there. Our senior engineer, Richard, will be manning the Q&A for me to answer any questions that come through. And what we'll do at the end is I'll pick a few of the kind of featured questions that have been posted and I'll say them as well, just in case anyone doesn't see them or can't catch them. We'll go through that. And if there's any real technical questions, I'll bring Richard on as well to answer them through the event. Okay. If you do have any further questions after the event, then please feel free to drop me an email. If there's anything more in depth you want to talk about or anything specific you'd like to talk about, then as I say, feel free to contact me. My email will be on there for you. Now, just to kind of go into, I'll give you a quick overview of what we're going to cover. We're going to take a quick look at how the world of work has already been changing for small and medium-sized businesses like yourselves, and how COVID-19 and coronavirus have recently accelerated that trend. We'll delve a bit more deeply into how, as your teams are now social distancing and working remotely, you can get them collaborating more effectively despite some of these challenges. We're going to show you how to do this or how we do this with our customers using the Microsoft Teams applications. And we'll also have a survey at the end. So please do fill that out. I'll post that in the Q&A section. So there'll be a link to Microsoft Forms. If you fill that out at the end of the event, that would be great, because we do plan on doing a number of these going forward. So any feedback on the event or any feedback on content you would like to see, it would really help us kind of inform these events going forward. Now, so I'm sure obviously the information on here is not a surprise to anyone, and these trends that you'll probably already be seeing in your own business. They were happening before the current health crisis itself. And we see that companies are much more likely to want to take account of remote working needs for their staff, which enables them to help them balance their personal and working lives. So they're much more likely to work from home with access to tools they need to do their jobs, remote email across a number of devices, including laptops, phones, tablets, etc. But I think it's extending past the use of emails, and there's now an expectation for that dynamic team structure. So kind of ad hoc, small ad hoc teams that form within the business to do specific projects or work on specific things. They're needing access to files and chat and collaboration tools so that they can work together more effectively. And we'll cover that in a bit more detail later in the presentation. So with that kind of trend and with the information you've seen there, we've seen that being accelerated by COVID-19 and the current health situation. Businesses are forced to do social distancing. They're having to work from home, and for the short term, the internet and an online hub is the kind of main core of the business just now. And it's not like it was before, but it was in the office and everyone could collaborate and work together in the office easily. That can't be done now. Everyone's having to work from home, so they need an online hub that they can access and speak to each other and work together effectively. And we've seen that basically happen in kind of two phases when this challenge kind of hit. The kind of first phase was getting people getting people working from home. So getting them set up quickly, getting new hardware, headsets, everything accesses into the company network that they needed, and ensuring email so they could at least kind of connect remotely was easily accessed. And the kind of second phase, now that that's kind of done and people are now working from home and they are set up and they're kind of ready to go, now it's how do we, our businesses and organizations are looking at how do we now make this better? How do we improve on it? How do we get people working together better? How do we get business back to normal and you know, get the organization working together as it was in the office? And that's what we want to focus on today, is showing you how you can do that using Microsoft Teams and Office 365. So the 5 ways that you can help your teams collaborate in this new way of working and using the Microsoft Teams application is it's got advanced online chat and calling capability. You've got online collaboration tools, virtual meeting capability, collaboration using Office 365 applications, and you can also use third-party applications along with Microsoft Teams. And obviously we want to show you how we do that and how we do that with our customers, and that's what we're going to go through. So the first one there is your advanced online chat capability and calling. So because your staff can't speak to each other in the office like they usually would do, it's important to have some sort of chat medium that they can contact each other and go through you know, the various kind of small chats they would have about certain projects or certain work that needs to be done, and you want to make sure that's in an environment that's secure and that's obviously controlled by the organization, so that there's no things that, you know, there's no kind of risk of data being leaked or information being leaked on personal phones, etc. You want your staff to have the access to the tools they need, but in a safe manner. So we're going to look at a bit more in depth at how Teams uses chat and what its capability is with different kind of chat functions and calling functions and what it can do. And we'll kind of start off with the basics. So we're going to look at an environment that's been pre-set up here and pre-populated. So this isn't today's kind of focus is very much kind of using the actual functions within Teams rather than how to set up Teams. If that's something you would like to see, a how-to guide on how to get set up, or if that's something you want help with, if you're not currently using Teams or you've not currently set it up at all, if that's something you want some help with, then feel free to get in contact with us at after the event there. So the first things that people can look at is chat. So there's a couple of different ways you can chat within Microsoft Teams. You can chat using private one-to-one chats, so very much like you're used to in terms of things like kind of Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, all your kind of message apps that you get on mobiles. Very kind of similar one-to-one chats and group chats, etc. The other way that you can do that is channel posts. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the Microsoft Teams interface. And you've got your teams that have been created and members in your organizations have been added to these teams and channels. So the channels obviously have kind of separated out different tasks or different aspects of that team or different projects that team's working on, so that you can really focus in on what you need to, what the tools that the people need to do the job or your staff need to do your job. So channel posts enables people to communicate in an open and transparent way through channel discussions called posts. And it's a very kind of similar feel. If you use any other social media like Facebook or anything like that, it's a very similar feel to that, where you have posts here, and then you can obviously reply to these posts or create new posts. And it's a long kind of rolling stream of posts that you can go through and refer back to. So all the chats and all the kind of posts are saved in their entirety. So you'll be able to scroll up and catch up on any that you've missed. Okay, so we're looking here at our user here is Megan. So I'm Megan for the purposes of the presentation there. So she's got some updates that you can see here. There's been some activity. She's got some updates she wants to go through with the team as well, and make some posts on this channel post here for the team. And she's going to use the design channel for that. So as I said, that you can go back and scroll and see all the kind of previous posts here. So it's a persistent and it's stored in the entirety. It adds a lot of value for people coming in, new people coming into the team. So maybe they need to catch up on previous content so that they don't miss any kind of conversations out of context. And by default, team conversations are visible to the entire team. So everyone's kind of stays in the know and they know exactly what's going on and they don't miss anything, which is important. On here, obviously, that you can see here that on the usability testing, you also have the ability to make posts important. So you can put important here so that everyone knows that they need to see this. This is really important. And you also have the power to tag specific people. So you can see that Megan's been tagged. So it's showing the @ symbol to let Megan know that she's been tagged in this specific post. And you can also see that with this, you can then reply to that specific post that you've been tagged in. So when you're replying to these threaded messages, again, it's very straightforward and it's very intuitive. So you can go to that individual post and you can open up all the replies to that post there. So it doesn't clutter up, automatically showing all the replies to that specific post. So if you want to see just information to do with that, specific conversation, it's very tidy, it's very straightforward, and it doesn't clutter up the whole channel. You can expand that, and then you can reply directly to that post, and then everyone understands what they're talking about and what they're talking to each other about. You also do have some very powerful tools within this chat and within this actual built-in tools to help with collaboration, to help with the conversation with multiple different team members. So you could also have maybe team members who are international or overseas, maybe they speak a different language, and they're posting in their native language. So what you would usually have to do is copy this, go into your Google or your Bing and search for it and get the translation. It takes a lot more time than it should. But with Teams, it's built in that you can actually just translate that. So all you have to do is just select your 3 dots on the post here, and then you just hit translate there, and then that will translate the actual the post there automatically, and you can see there and quickly reply to that. So it saves you from having to hop from apps to apps. There is also very kind of powerful formatting tools. So it's very much like an Outlook email, and it's very similar to interface to that. You've probably seen that before. And you can do things like you can tag things as important. You can add in pictures. You can tag individual people within these posts. You can make the text bold, italic. You can add emojis, attachments, links. So it's very, very flexible and very, very powerful in what you can do in these channel posts and one-to-one chat posts as well, and very straightforward and intuitive. So to tag someone, you just type the symbol @ and then start typing their name, and they'll automatically come up and you can tag them. And then you just hit send, and then that will be posted on the channel for everyone in that team to see. And you can also see, because it's been tagged as important, that it's highlighted there, so everyone knows that this is also very important. And you can do that with a lot of different things. So as I said, you can attach files, you can put in pictures, but also say there's an email you've received which the channel doesn't see, but the channel needs to see because it's pertinent to the people in that team. You can send an email direct to the channel, so you don't have to click and drag or put it in as an attachment or anything as cumbersome as that. You just hit your 3 dots on the channel there, hit get email address, and then copy and paste that email address into your Outlook, and that will send it directly into the channel for you. The other option you've got in terms of chat is one-to-one chats. So that was the kind of team channels that you've seen before in the team chat. So everyone sees that, and everyone's kind of speaking to each other and collaborating. But maybe you want to send an individual message, or you just want to speak one-on-one, or just with a couple of people. You can do that in private chats. So it's not a group chat that everyone can see. It's just in a private section. You just click chat in the top left-hand corner there, and then you can basically have a one-to-one chat with someone, or add in people, which is very straightforward. So you can see all the previous chats that you've had and reply directly to them. Or if you want to start a new conversation, you just hit the icon at the top there with the pen, which will start a new chat, and you can add people and individuals or multiple people to that conversation, so that then you can then type a message to them, and it's only them that will see it. And then you just hit send on that message, and everyone can easily see that and respond to that, and you'll get notifications up here when you get a new chat through. And maybe you've created that chat, but you want to add someone. It's maybe later on down the line as a new team member, you want to add these people to it. It's very straightforward to do. You just hit add on the top right hand side with the people, start typing their name, and you can also select if you want them to see the previous chat history. So you can see if maybe just the last days, or include all the chat history, or don't include the chat history at all if maybe you don't want to see that you've been talking about them in the private chat or something like that. You don't have to include the chat history either, but it gives you that option, which is very flexible and very powerful, and really helps kind of collaboration really make it really easy. Because people can just kind of join in, pick up from the previous history that was there, and they know exactly what's going on. And you can see that you get the notification, everyone gets the notification that you've added this person to the chat, so everyone knows that that person is now on the chat as well. Now, the next part, obviously, in terms of the communication is the calls. So to access calls, it's very straightforward. You'll see there the button on the left-hand side, calls, and when you click into that, it's very much like a kind of your online or your soft phone interface that you've probably seen before. Very easy to use. Now, by default, it's for internal only. However, Microsoft also have a plan called Microsoft Voice, which allows you to do external calls and use the phone or use Teams as your full organization's phone systems. So it can completely replace any old kind of phone system that you have, or if you're looking at replacing an old PSTN line, maybe that's getting replaced soon. You can do that with Microsoft Teams. And that allows you to make external calls and use the cloud calling and VoIP calling for that. Now, what it also does, and it allows you to do, is things like create hunt groups, so calling groups. So if you receive a call through and you're not able to make that or add that call, or you've missed that call, you can create hunt groups and call groups so that calls come through to you. This is just showing you basically how to add or search for someone to make a call, and then also the interface that then looks like. But when you go into the settings, you can also make call groups. So if you miss a call, you can add members to that call group so that they can actually pick that up for you, and then it goes right through to voicemail there. So it's very powerful in terms of the actual calls and making and receiving calls as well. And this all syncs with mobile devices as well. So you can download the Teams app and you don't have to worry about having things like call forwarding, because at the end of the day, if you're not in the office and you're not on your PC, you can pick up the call on the mobile using the application, or the Microsoft Teams application. So the next part we're going to look at is the online collaboration tools, and basically what it looks like working on files together. And this is obviously, we're going to have a quick focus on the Office 365 applications, because the Office 365 built-in integration is really powerful, and it's deeply integrated, so there's not any setup needed. It just works, and it works straight away for you. And it's really easy and really intuitive to use. So we're going to quickly go back to the Teams application here, and you can obviously see that up here that you've got your Files tab, This is automatically created when you create a new team. It will automatically create a files tab for you, and any files that are shared on here, or any files that you share through in the team itself, will be kept in this file repository. And in the background here, this is actually SharePoint. So it's already deeply integrated with other Office 365 applications. It's all working in the background. You don't have to set this up. This automatically sets that up for you, but it means all your documents are saved and stored securely in a cloud application. So it really helps with things like business continuity and ensuring that there's not data loss or anything like that. So with this, file application and the files tab and storage, this is now starting to make Teams become your full hub for the business. So it's a full communication hub, because it then allows you to then, as I say, collaborate on documents. And I'm going to show you an example of working on an Excel document. So you'll probably be used to maybe if it was a shared drive within your organization. You've probably seen before, if you've tried to access a shared file like an Excel document and somebody's already working on it, it doesn't let you access it. So that's the kind of traditional way of working. So you need to wait for that person to come out, or if it's urgent, then you need to make a copy, and then there's a possible, data syncing issue. So if people have different versions of different files, that can cause a lot of problems, a lot of confusion. With this new Office 365 platform and Microsoft Teams, it completely removes any of those problems by allowing you to work live and collaborate live on documents. And that's very straightforward to do. You just click your three dots or your ellipses on the right hand side there of the document, and then you hit open in desktop application or open in browser, whichever you prefer, your preference is there. And I'm just going to show you a quick video of what that then looks like. So this is it opened up in the browser. So you can see here that I've opened up the browser, and you can also see that when I've opened it up there, my colleague Brian is also working on the document. So I can see here where he's working. I can see the cell he's working on within the Excel spreadsheet there. And then I'll just show you this. This is obviously a live recording I did earlier, but I can see exactly what Brian's doing, and I can see all the changes he's making, and he can see all the changes I'm making. So it means that if we're working on a document, we could be working completely independently here. We don't have to be in a call. We don't have to be in a meeting. This isn't a shared screen. We can be working completely independent, and I can see all the changes that are going on live. So it means there's not going to be any data syncing issues. So I'm not going to have any problems seeing what's happening with this document, and Brian's not going to have any problems seeing the changes I'm making to this document. So this could be something like a work rota or a job rota that maybe a couple of people in a kind of good example I've seen is for a heating engineer company going out and doing services, etc. So they'll have job sheets on Excel spreadsheets, but there's a couple of people who make changes to those job sheets on a regular basis, and that could be kind of live information because these appointments, etc., could change throughout the day. So that then allows people to see their changes in appointments immediately, and there's no problems with finding out where everyone is and what everyone's doing. You can also do this in a call, so you can also do it as part of a phone call, and it could be maybe you're having a call before a meeting, or you're having a call to talk about a specific document and you want to work on that document together whilst you're on the call. That's really straightforward. You just pull the document into the chat function, and this video will show you what that looks like. So you can see there on the right hand side, I've pulled the document onto the chat function. I'm opening up that document. Brian's doing the same on the other side. And I can see, obviously, once he clicks into that, I'll be able to see, you can see in the top right hand here that Brian's joined and he's opened the workbook. And I can see now the changes that he's making live. And again, he can see the changes I'm making live. And we don't have to share screens or anything like that. We can do if we want, but we don't have to, because it means that we're seeing live changes and we can both edit the document without saying, oh, can you scroll down, can you go up, can you do this, can you do that? We'll be able to see independently what we're working on and basically talk about that. And it makes it a lot more collaborative that way, because it makes a lot more back to kind of what it was like working in the office when you're just standing next to each other, or maybe you're you're sharing the you're standing around the one computer and talking about it. It makes it very similar to that and a very similar feel to that, but you're doing that from the comfort of your own home, which is essential in kind of today's situation. So it really helps with these types of situations, really helps with that collaboration. And that leads us on to the kind of next part of the how you can improve using Microsoft Teams, which is the virtual meeting capability. So Microsoft Teams has, very powerful meeting functionality with high def audio and web and video conferencing. You can do presentations, so everything I'm doing today and how you're accessing it is all through Microsoft's live event. Now, that's not something that's enabled as standard, so if that is something you're looking to do or it's a functionality you're looking to use, host live events and webinars, then please feel free to get in touch with me or put a question in the Q&A section there, and we'll discuss that in a bit more detail. Or if that's something you would like to see as part of a future webinar, maybe a future live event, then again, feel free to let me know, and we'll put that as something we could possibly look at going forward. But yeah, so the virtual meeting capability is very powerful. You can have video meetings, just conference calls, you can do screen sharing, and you can basically schedule that through and sync that through all your mobile devices as well. So we'll have a bit of a kind of deeper look into that. So creating a meeting is really straightforward. So you can just hit your calendar on the top left there, and then once you get on there, it's simply just click new meeting at the top right. It's as straightforward as that. That'll then bring up a very similar interface to what you're used to if you've used Outlook before. So you can see there that you can edit things like title, you can add descriptions, you can put the date and time, you can invite certain people, or maybe you want to invite a channel. So maybe it's the whole channel to meet in. So within that team, you want to select a channel of everyone so that they can attend that. So it's nice and easy to do that. You just hit the channel and that'll invite everyone within that channel to attend that meeting, which makes that nice and straightforward. You don't have to sit and type person after person, remember who was in, and not miss anyone. If it's a large team or a large channel, you don't have to risk missing anyone or anyone missing the meeting. So you can have that all there, which is really straightforward and nice and easy to fill out there. And then once you've filled out everything you want to have and invited all the people you want to invite, you just hit schedule, and then that will schedule the event for you. And you can just join the meeting by either going into the event on your calendar and hitting join, or it'll pop up in the channel and you can join it in there if you've added the channel to it, or even if you've got Microsoft Outlook synced up with your Microsoft Teams, then you can join it through Outlook as well, because this invite will then populate in your calendar in Microsoft Outlook as well. Excuse me. So once the meeting started, all the users that have been invited will receive an alert. And as I said, you can join it through multiple ways. And if you're hosting the meeting, or even if you're not, you can see everyone who's in the meeting just by clicking the people button there. It will show you the amount of people or who's there, who you've invited, who's not there. And it'll also make some suggestions of people you may have missed that you might want to invite as well, so you can then invite them and add them as the meeting's going on. Now, before the meeting and when you click join, you do have some interactions you can set up before you join the meeting, such as maybe switching your video off, maybe muting your mic. Maybe you're going into a large meeting with 100 users, and you don't want to go in with your mic on. You can do that, and you can control exactly how your setup is before you actually join the meeting. And then once you're actually in the meeting, there's a number of different functions that you also have as well. So you can, first of all, blur your background. So maybe you just want to kind of blur your background so that there's maybe nothing taking the focus off yourself. You can do so by just hitting the ellipses and then hitting blur your background. And it removes any distractions as well, so there's no issues there. And you can also now create custom backgrounds. So maybe you've got some dirty washing in the background, you don't want anybody to see whether it's blurred or not. You can now create custom backgrounds as well and add photos or different locations so that all the distractions are completely removed from your background, and everyone's kind of focused on what you're saying and what you're contributing to the meeting there. You can also record the meeting as well, and just to quickly point out that when you join a meeting in Teams, it also lets everyone know that you're in a meeting on your status. So you can see there's a red dot there which shows that Megan's busy and she's in a meeting, so people know not to disturb you, and it kind of removes any notifications as well during the meeting. But you can also record the meeting as well. So as I said, today's event is being recorded, so you'll have this available to you after the event, and we'll send that out to all attendees as well as people who registered but couldn't make it. But you can also hit record and start recording. Once you do that, if it was yourself, then you'll get a message up at the top saying you're recording to let everyone know, just obviously due GDPR and privacy policies, etc. But if it wasn't you, it will come up here saying you're being recorded, so that everyone knows and everyone gets a notification there that the meetings are being recorded. And this is great it's a great functionality to have for maybe people who haven't been able to attend the meeting, maybe they were off, but it was an important meeting. Then obviously they can join that meeting, and they can see that meeting and what happened, so they're caught up there and they've not missed anything, and they don't miss anything out of context as well. Now you can also have other functionalities such as share your screen. So you click the arrow here with the little screen around it, and you'll have a share panel that you'll be able to see that you can share screen. And you can also do things like take meeting notes. So you just hit the ellipses and then show meeting notes there, and that will bring up a pane on the right hand side and allow you to start taking notes, and then everyone can see these notes as well. So if you're taking notes and maybe they've missed something, it means that they can see all that as well. But it's very straightforward. Just hit take notes, type in the text. It's all very intuitive, and then obviously you've got access to that after the meeting as well. Now you can also bring in meeting extensions, which is third-party applications or other applications that are maybe have a bit more functionality to them, and maybe a bit more engaging for your team to use. You just hit the meeting extensions, which is on the ellipses there, and then once you've done that, you can select what different extensions you have. So you can browse and you can add things like whiteboard, and obviously then people you can present this and show people this. So if you're maybe doing a mind map or something like that, then people have access to all that and they can see that. So it's very, very powerful in terms of the actual meeting as well. And to close it, you just come out it and click on the meeting, and then it will close the share screen for you. Now, as well as when you're in a meeting there, you also have multi-screen functionality. So you can pop out chat, you can pop out meetings, and you can have multiple screens on the go there, so that you can still have the meeting, but you can still access the rest of your teams as well. So if it's maybe an event, but you still want to have a look at what you're doing and see notifications are coming through, because you've got these multi-window capabilities there, you're not going to miss anything. You're not going to miss any issues there. And then also you can turn on captions, live captions. So maybe you've got some problems with your audio, or the other person's mic isn't working very well or something like that, or some sort of interference. You can switch on live captions and it'll automatically bring up live closed captions there. And it's great for accessibility as well for people who are hard of hearing. Then it'll automatically transcribe at the bottom of the screen for you there. And that's meetings. So as I said, it's all about kind of increasing the collaboration and making people a lot more effective in terms of how they work together and what they do working together, and giving that kind of office feel. All these tools, it's all within Teams, and it really helps. It really shows you how powerful it can be and how collaborative it can be, because it's all in the one application. So it means that you don't have to go to different applications, keep swapping in and out and be distracted and take time going to different applications. It's all just there in that one application, which is great. So you can collaborate. As I said, I've showed you collaborating your usual Office 365 apps like Excel, etc., and it all works together with Word and PowerPoint. But you can also do things like Power BI, which is maybe one of the kind of lesser used Office 365 applications. But you can also use Power BI, things like Planner as well, and it's all within that one pane. So if you go back to our environment there, you can see here under Research and Development and the channel, you can see that there's a tab added at the top there for Power BI. You can select exactly which dashboard you want to show, and then you've got access to live information from that application from Power BI. It's live information, it's live data, and you can access that for your daily work. And this works alongside things like CRM as well. So if you've got Dynamics CRM, you can use that, and they work together and you can bring through the dashboards from there. And you can see exactly what you need to see, all the information and data that you need access to, and it gives you, it stops you from having to switch from different applications to get that information to then maybe pull that into a meeting or then collaborate in a team with that. So you don't have to then point them to it. You can then just show them directly, here's the information, here's what we're working on. And that also works for Planner as well. So this is great for working on projects and making sure everyone's kind of completing tasks that they need to do. And you can have a tab up there, and everyone in the channel will have access to it, so that they can see what's on track, anything that needs to be done, any applications that need to be worked, or projects that need to be done. They can see all that there. And then lastly, there's also the use of third-party applications. So kind of showed you working Office 365 and working within Office 365, but Teams is also really great at working with third-party applications. So for instance, you've got the App Store there, which has over 200 apps in it, and these are from third-party companies, not Microsoft. And again, it just pulls it within that Teams application so that you can work very quickly and efficiently without having to switch between windows. And you can just access that by clicking the App Store down here. And that will take you through onto all these applications here. And you can group it by functionality, you can group it by features or top picks, you can search, and then you can obviously see all the different applications that are available to you. And I'm sure there's a few in there that you know. So Adobe Sign was there, MailChimp, that's another very well-known one as well. So you'll be able to kind of access these and pull these directly into Teams as tabs, and it makes everything really effective, really straightforward. It's a lot of it is kind of one click, and it's all kind of set up, so there's not any major setup needed, and it's great for collaboration, especially in today's situation. Getting your staff collaborating, getting them working together, and getting that feel of being in the office without being in the office. That's, Teams really shines with that and really makes things a lot easier with that. And obviously it's not just us saying that, so there's a number of obviously Microsoft customers that are Microsoft Teams customers that are using this, and we think it's a great tool for making your employees and your business more productive, and it just makes things a lot more collaborative when working with your staff and getting your staff working together there. Now just a little bit more about us. So we've extensive experience in helping businesses like yourselves get the most out of their IT. We're a Microsoft Silver Cloud partner. We've been doing this for 15 years. We offer managed IT support services and project support, but increasingly we're helping businesses go through their digital transformation through the use of cloud-based applications like Office 365, Microsoft Dynamics CRM. And if you'd like to learn more about any of these, then don't hesitate to give me get in contact after the webinar or after the live event there. You'll get my email there. And that is pretty much it. It was a fairly kind of whistle-stop tour of Teams and its capabilities. I'm just going to quickly go to the question and answer part, just to see what we've had through here. Okay, so I'm just having a look there, and there's a great question there in terms of limit of the number of people you can have in a video meeting, and the maximum limit of people in a video meeting is 250 at the moment, so that's for an internal video meeting. However, if it's a live event like this, so if you're hosting a webinar or hosting a live event, then the maximum number is 1,000, so it's 1,000 attendees can go on to these types of meetings. There's also a good question there. Is a whiteboard function that you can have set up to use on an ongoing basis. So there was that whiteboard function there, which was for specific chats, but you can also have bring in things like OneNote. So if you're used to using OneNote, which is almost kind of a whiteboard type function, you can have and bring that in as a tab at the top, and you can have certain OneNote workbooks just saved, so you can just access them, and that's used and added on an ongoing basis. So you can use that sort of functionality there. There's also a question about, do we have training for organisations and the best ways of using Teams and Office 365? And the answer is yes, we do. We can provide training for any Office 365 applications. So if you do have any training needs, then feel free to get in touch, and we'll be able to tell you exactly, find out what your needs are in terms of what applications you're looking for training on, and we can go through that in a bit more detail for you. And there's also a question, are the notes saved in the recorded meeting? Yes, they are, and they're also saved on the channel as well, so you can access them through there. So you can access those meeting recordings and through the meeting recording when you click on it. It's saved as its own separate thing there. Okay, so any other questions at all? Just leave it a couple of minutes before we finish up. In terms of going forward, what we'll also do just now is I'm just going to share the feedback form for you. So if you could take the time to fill that out, we would really appreciate it, because that would really help us inform these webinars going forward. You know, we're trialing, it's very new to us, this sort of webinar and live event stuff, so we are trialing different things. Obviously I was trying to kind of keep it quite short in terms of the webinar and live event length, so if it's something you want to go in more in depth, or is this the right amount of time for you, then please feel free to let me know. Or if you would want to look at other Office 365 applications or other cloud solutions that are available through Microsoft, like Dynamics 365, then please feel free to let me know on the feedback there as well. I'm just checking to see if there's any other questions. So there's no other questions there at the moment. What I will be doing is I'll be leaving the Q&A open for the next 5-10 minutes, and then I'll close it off. If you do need if you have any other questions, if you'd like to get in touch, then please, as I say, don't hesitate to contact me on my email there. But other than that, that's everything. So thanks very much for your time. Thanks for joining us here on our kind of first event. So and keep an eye out for more emails and more events coming in the future, because we'll be doing this in a kind of bi-weekly or tri-weekly basis. So yeah, please, thanks very much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.